In this video, we'll learn how to install WordPress locally on our computer and then how to transfer or migrate WordPress to a domain name on our own web hosting account. So the first thing that we'll do is go to localwp.com, which you can just do a Google search for, and then we're going to download their free program called Local by Flywheel. So you can select whether or not you have a Mac or Windows computer, and then we'll just need to add our first, last, and email address. And while I download this, the purpose of this video is to be used for future reference of building WordPress websites. So in case you don't have a web hosting account, you can build the WordPress website on your computer and then move it to your web hosting account later. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for future WordPress videos. Okay, so now that Local by Flywheel is done downloading, I'm going to double click it, and then it's going to show me the screen right here where I can drag the icon to my applications. Then I'll just double click the applications folder and then click on Local by Flywheel to open it up. Then I'll click open once more, and now we have Flywheel open. So you might see a couple of other things that you'll need to click through just because I had this installed on my computer previously. But once you see this screen, select create a new site, and then we'll just need to give our site a name. So I'll just add DrewHost, which is a domain name I picked up. Then the advanced options I never change, but if you wanted your local site domain to be different from the site path, you can change it there. And I'm just going to hit continue and then use the preferred environment for PHP and MySQL. And then we can add our WordPress username and WordPress password. For email, you can add your own email, or you can just use their temporary development email that's already included with Flywheel, and then change it later once you're in WordPress admin. And once it's installing WordPress, if you see this orange bar, that just means that you'll need to enter the password for your computer depending on your security settings. So here on the overview page, we'll see what Local by Flywheel uses to host WordPress locally, including PHP, MySQL, and then the WordPress version as well. Then on the database page, it's going to give us some basic info for the database name, username, and password, but we're not going to need any of this information to transfer the website to a web hosting account. And the local SSL certificate is just to avoid browser security warnings, as it says here. Then in utilities, you'll have the option to link to a mail server via MailHog if you want to test email with WordPress, but I would only recommend this if you're doing complex development because web hosting platforms are set up to basically just take care of email sending right away once you install WordPress. Then at the bottom of the page here, we'll have the option to open up a live link. If you want to test your website on mobile, for example, you can just email yourself this link and take a look at it on the internet, but it's just temporary for testing purposes. So now that we've covered the basics of Local by Flywheel, let's open up WP Admin right here with this admin button, and then we can log into WordPress, which as you can see is installed and ready for us to build our website. So as I mentioned, this video won't include actually building a WordPress website. I'll save that for future videos, but just so we can recognize it from a basic installation, let's change around the heading here or title on this first post to install WordPress locally. So that way we can recognize the installation once I move it to the web hosting platform. And just to show you over here, I have the drewhost.com domain name that's completely blank on my web hosting account. So let's go about migrating the website now. So inside of WordPress, we'll go down to plugins and then add new. And I'm going to do a search for a plugin called Duplicator to transfer the website to a web hosting account. And then I'll hit install now, followed by activate. Then we'll go to manage duplicator and hit create new in the upper right hand corner, then hit next. And then once the scan is complete, we'll hit build. And this is basically going to wrap up all of our website files in a zip file or a compressed file. And then we'll download the installer.php file and then the archive, which is the zip file. And with these two files, basically, we have a complete backup of our WordPress website so we can transfer it to our web hosting account. So when it comes to choosing a web hosting company, there are really only a few factors I think to decide from, and that's price, customer service, and ease of use. So I've been with a company called Bluehost for about 6 years now after being with a couple of the other larger web hosting companies, and I think that they have the most knowledgeable customer service reps that I've come across. Their pricing is also a lot better than the other companies, and the speed and ease of use is also, I think, the best out there. So I'm going to put a link to them in the video description. If you click that, I will get a small commission, and I would appreciate it. Also, if you have any questions that I could help you with your hosting account, aside from their awesome customer service reps, I'd be happy to help. So with Bluehost, the obvious choice if you're just building one website is to go with the basic plan, which is less than $3 a month. And you'll also get 5 email accounts and a free domain name along with the free SSL certificate, which I'll show you how to install really easily. So once you select the domain name that you want, fill out your contact information, and then you can select how long you want the term to be of your web hosting account. So for me, since I've been doing this a while, I always go with the 3-year plan of 36 months because I know I'm going to need it anyways. But if you just want to go with the shortest plan and the smallest amount overall, you can go with the 1-year plan. Then further down the page, when it says recommendations, the only thing that I get and recommend is the domain name privacy, because every website address or domain name has to have registrant contact information attached to it. So if you get domain name privacy, it's going to show the information of the hosting company instead of your home address, for example. So once you're ready to check out, you can go to the bottom of the website and hit submit. And I'm not going to go through this process because I already have my account, but once you get into Bluehost after logging in, you're going to see the home tab right here, or you should land on the home tab. But you'll want to go down to the advanced tab on the left-hand side in the sidebar. And from here, you'll see the file manager. So I'm just going to open that up in a new tab, and then we're going to go to MySQL databases. So just do a search for and we'll see MySQL databases. And this is going to be really simple. All we need to do is create the database name, a username, and password, similar to the information that we saw in Local by Flywheel that I said we're not going to need in the web hosting account. So I'm just going to name my new database here DrewHost because that's what the name of the website was, or the domain name at least. So I'll just hit create database, and then I'll hit go back. And then we can scroll down the screen and we'll see MySQL users. So I already have my username set up, so just add a username and password there. Just remember the password that you added because we'll need that in a minute or two. And then once you've done that, scroll down the page and you'll just need to add the user that you just created to the database that you created. So once you click add, the next screen you'll just want to select all privileges for the username that you created, and then scroll down and select make changes at the bottom of the screen. And once you've done that, we're all set with the database. So now we can go over to File Manager, which if you remember, I opened up in a new tab. And here in File Manager, we'll just need to select the folder of our domain name. So if you just have one domain name, it might be the root folder if you don't see a folder with the name of your domain name. So you would just select upload without selecting your folder. But in my case, I'll just select my domain name DrewHost here, which I've been referencing, and then go up to the upload link or button right here. And now we can simply drag and drop the 2 backup files that we got from Duplicator with our local WordPress installation. So I'll just give this a moment to upload into Bluehost. And then once it's complete, we can go over to our domain name and we're going to see the files uploaded here. So we're just going to go to installer.php. So basically with installer.php, Duplicator is going to fill out all of the database information required with WordPress, and it's going to connect our content inside of WordPress or the files inside of the zip to the database. So once you're ready, select that you agree and accept Duplicator's terms and then hit next. And now it's going to extract the files. And we'll just need to add our database name, the username, and the password that we created. And if you forgot your database name and username, you can go back to MySQL in the cPanel in Bluehost by just clicking on the Advanced tab again. But then once you've entered that information, just select Test Database, and this is going to run a test to make sure that our credentials match up. And as long as your password and username, database name match or are correct, you're going to see that the test passed. So then you can select OK. Now we'll just have to wait a moment for Duplicator to install the database, and then we can select next, and then it's going to populate or replace the data. And once that's done, everything will look good and we can select to log into WP admin. So once you log into WordPress, you're going to see a message showing that Duplicator has deleted files for security purposes. So you can just exit out of that. And now we have WordPress transferred to our domain name. So once you refresh, you'll be able to see the WordPress website. So the last step that I'm going to run you through here, because we do get a free SSL certificate with Bluehost, is we're just going to install a simple plugin to activate the SSL certificate. So in WP admin, let's go down to plugins and then add new, and I'll just search for simple SSL. And this is going to show us a plugin called Really Simple SSL that I'll install and then activate. Then it's going to bring us to a screen where we'll just select go ahead, activate SSL. And once we've done that, we'll just have to log back in. And now we have SSL activated, which as you can see, we're going to have the lock symbol instead of not secure. And then we'll see connection is secure. So now you can do things like add e-commerce features and accept payments on your website. So that concludes the how to install WordPress on your computer locally and migrate it to a web host tutorial. I want to thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe and turn on your notifications for new tutorials.